Trophy for the tuner as well for M Sport. And knowing Vishnu, he'll come up with those wins when it's most needed. Seasoned, experienced campaigner. He's been there. He knows what needs to be done to win the championship. So those are your winners. Vishnu Prasad, Diljit TS, Bala Prasad. Joined by Sunny Singh from JKDI, COC of the race. He's there as well on the stage. And despite all the rivalry, it's always good to see these drivers after the race, interacting with each other, giving each other high fives and fist bumps. Just pause once more for the photographers.
Thank you.
Diljit TS started at P7, finished second. Arya Singh started at P19 to be amongst points. That was very well done as well. Very quickly now, we'll go to the prize distribution area where we have Raman Bhanot there catching up with your race winners.
Well, this race wasn't short of drama, wasn't short of action, and of course the safety car coming out a couple of times as well. But credit to the way these three podium finishers have raced. Congratulations, Bala. Good result for you, finally managing it on the podium.
Yeah, sure.
Just talk us through the race for you.
Well, I started third and just lost a couple of places in the start itself, and just some trauma happened.
There was a problem with the nose of your car as well. There was that battle that you had with Mohammad Rayan towards the end, which you came through.
Yeah, third place was not decided until the last corner, and yeah, I get it.
Well, in the end, you did that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Diljit TS, the man who's fought adversity, fought through a challenging grid, managing to finish second. And just talk us through your race.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a tough fight between me, Bala, Meera, Rahul, and literally the top 7, so basically the top 6. So I started 7th on the grid, and it wasn't so easy because all these cars are identically like the same power, the same. There might be a little bit of handling changes in each cars, but yeah, I mean, it was really amazing, and me and Rahul had a little bit tussle on the C1, and I thought that was my end of the race, and then somehow I managed to brake really hard, and my car was able to keep up with that, and I really would like to thank my team, Dark Dawn Racing, and the mechanics who worked really hard for it to make it happen.
A disappointment for Sandeep and Amir Saeed. Unfortunately, both of them having that collision. They were in the hunt for the overall Drivers' Championship, with Vishnu leading, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened between Sandeep and Amir because they were behind me. So I thought that there was a point where Sandeep dived in. Then I thought, okay, then I'll let him go. But then I could see that whenever he was right behind me, I was pulling away from him in the corners. So then I thought, okay, maybe not now, maybe after a couple of laps, because even I need to fight for my championships, which is more important for me. And I was fighting for third, and right now I think I'm up there because there's one more thing, I'm starting last in the next race, so I need to have some points.
I was just coming to that. 9 points separate you and Vishnu Prasad in the overall driver standings. 1 race to go, 10 points up for grabs. I said it in commentary, he's got one hand on that trophy. You'd love to take it away somehow.
Which is very difficult. Yeah, I would love to.
Well, go well for that last race. Of course, you're starting last on the grid. That's going to be an added challenge. Vishnu Prasad, before he started the race, I said he has pressure for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Well, you showed us why.
I mean, it is a good race for us. I mean, we knew going into that race for us is just important to focus on our job, which was to win, because the point situation was so narrow, so tight, and we had like 4 of our cars in the front, which made it a little bit easier as well. So once we went ahead, and I was just focused on going in front and trying to put the laps down, and I think there was a lot of things happening behind me, and luckily it turned out well for us, and one more race to go, and hopefully we can do a good job in that one as well.
You had the best place on the track right up front, so you didn't need to bother about all that was happening behind you. But you built up a sizable lead a couple of times before the safety car came out, and you saw that lead, about 3 or 4 seconds just whittled down to nothing.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we had a good lead. Me and Meera drove really well, I think, in the initial part of the race, and we had like a couple of safety car periods, and it was super hard for us to manage the situation. But I think we came away unscathed, and a big thank you to Miko and especially all my teammates as well. There's so much support from all of my teammates. I think they really wanted me to win as well. Like guys like Rahul, Ryan, Bala, Meera, all of these guys like did so much of help and a lot of support with my mechanics, the team manager Fayaz as well. So I mean, incredible thanks to them, and I think this wouldn't be possible without these guys. So.
Savor the moment, it's been an important win.
Thank you so much.
That's Vishnu Prasad for you, savoring that moment, of course. That's what we have from the presentation area. It's over to Karthik in the comm box.
It's time to break free. Break away from the routine. To the greens. And get lost in the world within. To steer through, to stop. Start again. Go forth. Shed your inhibitions and just let it all go. With JK Tyres Ranger 80, made of tough, made for adventure. For the ones who are wide at heart. JK Tyre, total control.
So welcome back, bringing you highlights of the exciting race we've just had. That was the LGB Formula 4. It's a very good start for Meera Erda, for Vishnu Prasad. In fact, for the entire top 4, that was the M Sport breaking there. Bit hard was Bala Prasad. Meera Erda very quickly zoomed ahead and got herself a little bit of lead making, and those 4 M Sport ahead were making it a bit difficult for the 3 Dark Dawns and for Amir Said to get any space to maneuver ahead. The seasoned campaigner that Ragul is did ever so well to make sure that not a single Dark Dawn was allowed to pass. Maintained excellent lines there. Where Ragul there for a moment was a bit of a problem for Vishwas Vijayaraj, skidding on that corner. Vishnu Prasad had by the time taken the race lead, and it moved into first with Meera Erda dropping down to second. Ragul doing ever so well, keeping the others at bay behind him as the front 2 continued to stretch their lead. There was that incident that made sure that Sandeep Kumar and Amir Said's chances of staying in the championship race went up in flames, in smoke. That was the end for them in this race, and for them in the Drivers' Championship. Safety car came out, once it went out, then you see the car, that was Raghu Rangaswamy, who just put the brakes on a little hard, a little late, and that made him go through the tire rubber. Akshay Kapoor's car there colliding with Abhinav Reddy. Akshay Kapoor was in car number 1, and again the safety car came out for a lap or so, and once the safety car went back out, then there was that battle going on between Vishnu, Meera, Bala Prasad, followed by Diljit TS, Mohammad Ryan as well in car number 45 in the mix of things. And Diljit TS did so well for to be in that, because he was the one who was sandwiched between 4 M Sport, and then there was Fizil Rao, who was held back by the Raghu Rangaswamy. Arya Singh as well, who started at P19, slowly and steadily moved up the pack. There, for a moment or so, Diljit TS took the lead, overtook Meera Erda, but Meera held off her own and got the lead back. There was that end of the race for Bashir. It's car number 55, the lad from Calicut, Kerala, and Vishnu Prasad there coming through for the final corner to get the race win. A checkered flag for Vishnu Prasad. Diljit TS coming in second. and Bala Prasad coming in third.
They've come from the future to change the way we drive.
JK Smart Tire, buddy.
JK Smart Tire, the tire with a brain. The future of driving is here. JK Smart Tire. It's time to break free. Break away from the routine. To the greens. And get lost in the world within. To steer through, to stop. Start again. Go forth. Shed your inhibitions and just let it all go. With JK Tyre's Ranger 80, made of tough, made for adventure. For the ones who are wide at heart, JK Tyre, total control.
So welcome back to live coverage of day 2, the final day of the 24th JK Tyre FMSCI National Racing Championship. Just before the commercial break, we saw the highlights for the LGB Formula 4 category. Now we'll quickly show you the highlights of the first race that happened today in the Novice Cup category. It was Jaden Parry who started at P1 and Ruhan Alva at P2. It was a very good start for Ruhan Alva, not such a good start for Jaden Parry, with Ruhan taking the lead in the first corner, but when he got through towards the second corner, that's what happened. The front right of his car hit the curb and hit it too hard. The tyre just, you can see, could not sustain that, and that allowed Jaden Parry to go on and take the race lead. There was a bit of a collision there on corner 3 as well, one of the Momentum Motorsports cars there. Remember, the championship in this category was already sealed by Ruhan Alva yesterday, but there was still a lot to fight for the second, for the third spot in the championship. Jaden Parry was leading there. You see Ruhan Alva's car damaged, just trying to get it through towards the pits. Naeem Rizvi also involved in the mix of things. That's car number 9. The safety car came out for Ruhan Alva's car to be sent back through the pits to clear the track, and once the safety car went back into the pits, there was racing action once again. Aditya Parsuram had moved up to second by then, moving ahead of Naeem Rizvi. The battle between Chetan Surineni and Gaurav Kocha for the 4th and 5th spot was also interesting throughout the race. There's a battle for third as far as the Drivers' Championship is concerned, with Chetan Surineni there, Aditya Parsuram also involved. Like I said, while the championship may have been sealed, there were other spots to fight for. Jaden Parry was very comfortable throughout the race, apart from that first and the second corner of lap 1. Once he got that lead, he looked very comfortable before. And after the race, he spoke to Raman and he said that it was in a very difficult moment after that loss yesterday to Ruhan Alva. It was very tough for him, but he did ever so well to come back and, as Raman said, redemption for the young lad to go on and win the race. He did so well, peeling away from the rest of the pack and taking the checkered flag. Very important race win for him, for his confidence. Aditya Parsuram second, Naeem Rizvi coming in third. Back with live pictures now. We're getting ready for the next race. that will be the JK Tyre presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. 10 laps of biking action coming your way very, very shortly. As you can see, one of the bikers coming through. It's very interesting here as well. The championship is yet to be decided in this category. And well. There's been an incident on that final corner. Remember, these are very, very heavy bikes, more than 180 kgs. There's bike number 13, that's one I can see. That is Sudhakar. This is what happened. They were coming through that corner, and well, there's a little bit of contact from behind, and then the trailing bike also colliding, and well, that doesn't look very good. 3 of the bikers there. That's bike 13, Sudhakar's bike. Marshals, medical staff very quickly through towards that incident zone. Well, he's back on his feet, all's well. Well, thankfully, there's not too much of damage, although he will be taken for the medical checkup and make sure everything is perfect as it should be. See, it takes 3 guys to get that bike up. That tells you how heavy these bikes are. It's bike number 8 as well there, I think. And that is, yes, that's bike number 8. That's Lokesh. Lokesh's bike there too, along with Anfal Akhtar's bike. Anfal Akhtar, remember, he's been on the podium a few times. Will Anfal be able to get back on the track for the race? That's something that we have to see. This is what happened. Just a little nip from behind, and then the bike that was coming in. Oh my God, look at that. The impact that the driver had. The head, it's the helmet. That's why they say helmet saves lives. Quick work there by obviously the rescue and the staff there working, the marshals, ever so hard. Right then, we're ready to go towards the pits. In fact, towards the racetrack, where we have Raman Banot bring you something special there.
I'll start talking from behind the 2 of you, and shoulder to shoulder, get closer, yeah, together, so I shouldn't be seen. Well, they say that motorsport is not short of glamour, and as you can see, there is no dearth of glamour on the racetrack. Thank you so much, girls, for that lovely little introduction. Thank you. Well, we're ready for another race. This is going to be the JK Tyre Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup race, and overall, you look at the championship and you find that Anish D. Shetty, who starts off on P2, is the one who's leading the overall driver standings. He's pretty much head and shoulders ahead of the rest of the pack. There is an outside chance for Alvin Xavier to catch up with him, but we have caught up with the man who's really done yeoman service as far as putting together this competition is concerned. With the final race of the season coming up, sir, your experience of being a part of the the races here.
Well, I'd like to thank Royal Enfield for giving us this opportunity to build these beautiful bikes. Then it's JK Tires for hosting us here and holding these races. Those are the first two thank yous to these guys. Then I must say a few things on the bikes. The bikes have performed brilliantly. The performance is the same what on round 1 and is the same today as the last 8th round. The performance is good. The bikes have worked brilliantly. And I'm really happy, and I would say another thank you to my team as well for running these bikes in the sort of condition that they are. I think, and each and every rider gets the best possible bike that he needs under him. So I think each and all the bikes are equal. You can see it's very difficult to overtake unless you are a better rider.
Absolutely. From running the JK Tyre Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup, what's the experience been like for the Royal Enfield team per se?
It's been a great experience because, see, the reliability of the bikes, we've not had a single DNF because of mechanical failure. So that says a lot about the bikes and the build and the maintenance of the bikes. So it's unheard of in motorsport that you have 100% track record of reliability, and with the last round and keeping fingers crossed, we should hope we achieve the 100% reliability in all the races.
We've seen some good competition as well unfold all through the 8 races. This is the 8th and the final race of the season. Your thoughts on some of the bikers who've come around, especially from different parts of the country. You've managed to get bikers from Latur, from Surat, from Jammu Kashmir.
Yeah. So the boys have been good, nice to work with. Yes, some of them are a little raw, some of them are experienced. But we worked well with them and gelled well with them, and we've given them the best possible support that we can give them. And I think everybody should be happy, hopefully. I think that's they have to answer whether they're happy with the team that I provided them with.
And with, of course, this season coming to a close with this last race, plans already underway for the next season?
Yes, we are working on a different system next year. Let's see how it goes. Because I want to retain the boys. So we'll probably run a Pro-Am series of 9-10 pros and 9-10 amateurs. And 2 separate race will be held together, but there'll be 2 separate podiums. So we'll be giving a chance to the amateurs to win also. And they'll be mixing it with the pros. So we might see an amateur ahead of some pro as well.
Which is, I'm sure, a dream come true for some of the young guns or rookies who might be making the grid.
Yeah, of course. And we want to promote affordable racing. The main thing is affordable racing. These bikes, out of the box, we spend little over ₹1 lakh to bring them to this spec. Whereas if you go to a pro stock class, you're spending 12 and 13 lakhs to build a bike. So you can see the affordability, and the lap times are nearly the same. So this is really affordable retro racing as best, but it's as quick as normal racing.
I'm sure the bikers couldn't have asked for more. So thank you so much. On behalf of the bikers, we'd like to thank you for the participation.
It's been a pleasure. Really, it's been a pleasure working with these boys.
Thank you so much. Well, of course, we head into the final race of this JK Tyre Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. It sees Meka Viduraj start off on pole position. This young biker has done exceedingly well. Especially he's had a good round. Meka, looking forward to doing the maximum in the final race.
Yes. Always wanted to have fun in the race. Let's see what we can do.
Well, go well. Anish Shetty, remember, starts off on P2, and you've got Alvin Xavier on P3. The battle, albeit, is tilted heavily in favor of Anish Shetty as far as the overall championship standings are concerned. If he notches up a race winner finishing second or finishes ahead of Alvin Xavier, he pretty much seals things for the championship. Time's running out for me on the racetrack. It's over to these bikers to showcase their wares.
Thank you, Raman. And now we'll very quickly talk you through the starting grid. It's Meka Viduraj who starts at P1. You got Anish Shetty, the championship leader, at P2. Alvin Xavier, the chaser, at P3. Rajkumar at P4. Anfal Akhtar, who was supposed to be at P5, is, I don't think, there at the moment because of that little incident we had before the start of the race. The 3 bikers that collided at the last corner. He would have been at P5. Sudhir Sudhakar would have been at P6. He's not there as well as the bikers go off for the formation lap. Then you got Pradeep, P7, Bharat Balan at P8, Jayant Pradipati at P9, Rohit Lad will be at P10, followed by Naresh Kaname at P11, Varun at P12, P12, Lokesh at P13. Lokesh may not be part of the race as well because of that incident. You got Varad More at P14, Sandeep Gorai at P15, Harshad Sumra P16, Amar Katkar at P17, Srinidhi will be at P18, while Driver Dhar, the lad from Jammu and Kashmir, will be starting at P19 at the back of the grid. So we all think we'll just get that confirmation when the bikers line up again for the start of the race, that will we have three riders missing from the start. That is Anfal Akhdar along with Sudhir Sudhakar, and also bike number 8 of Lokesh, the lad from Bangalore. Remember, they came out to get to their starting positions on the grid, and that final corner was an impact from the bike behind, clipping the bike ahead, and both of them collided, fell, and the bike coming in from behind, trailing, then ran into those two, and the three were flat out on the floor. Although the three walked out, so that meant that there's nothing serious as far as damage was concerned, but could spell doom on the end of the race before even it started for those three lads. Very quickly now, as these riders complete the formation lap, we'll get to know if Anfal Akhdar, Lokesh and Sudhir Sudhakar will take part in the race or not. Well, as you can see, it's a slightly delayed start. There'll be an extra formation lap, and by the looks of things, doesn't look like we will have the three starting this formation lap either. Yes, you can see the front three are fine. In the second row, we got bike number 11, and that's of Rajkumar. And then the next two spots are vacant. That means there is no Anfal Akhdar along with Sudhir Sudhakar. So their race ended even before it started. An extra formation lap coming your way. Remember, this is the JK Tyre presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup, race number 6 of the weekend. We have 2 more races to come, but this is the last race of this category, and we'll know who will be crowned champion very, very shortly. So the battle is on between Anish Damodar Shetty and Alvin Xavier. It's a tremendous race win for Mika Viduraj yesterday, doing an Anish Shetty on Anish himself at the very final moment. The final corner is when he overtook Anish and got to the checkered flag, and that would have been a relief for Alvin Xavier, because that only made sure that there was only a 2-point gap between a 2-point increase in the gap that was already there between Anish and Alvin. So final race that will decide who takes the Bikers Championship home. Joining me now in the commentary box once again after his duties from the racetrack and pit side, it is Raman Bhanot. Welcome back, Raman.
Thanks so much, Karthike. We're heading into what is the final race, of course, of this category. The JK Tyre presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. And what was the highlight in that conversation I was having earlier about the reliability of these bikes, and Mr. Batena from Royal Enfield was just saying that it's been a creditable performance of the bikes. Haven't had a DNF due to mechanical problems on any of the bikes thus far this season, which really is saying something about the reliability of these machines on the racetrack when they're being put through the rigors of racing. So credit to the machines, credit to the crew that's worked behind the scenes to provide a whole lot of enjoyment to the spectators, fans and friends of bikers and racers who've been at the racetrack for these 4 rounds, competing, trying to put their best foot forward. Starting off on pole, remember, is Meka Viduraj. He's notched up a race win in the previous race of round 4. That was the first race on day 1 in this category. And that's the reason why he starts off on pole position. On P2 is Anish Shetty. He finished second yesterday. And on P3 is Alvin Xavier, who finished third. The way the point standings are between the bikers in the overall championship, a 7-point lead for Anish Shetty over Alvin Xavier going into this final race. So if he finishes ahead of Alvin Xavier, it's all over. The lights go off and so do the bikes. It's a good start for Meka Viduraj. He's off the blocks very quickly. He's on bike number 4. Keep an eye out on this young lad. He said, I wanted to have fun at the race weekend. I just wanted to enjoy myself and race hard. And that's probably showing in his approach on the racetrack as well. Off the blocks quickly and leading the race at the moment. Remember, you look at the grid here, you've got a total of 19 bikes on the track. As far as the overall standings are concerned, there is Raj Kumar on P4, Anfal Akhtar was on P5, and Sudhir Sudhakar was on P6. So let's see how those positions change as the race progresses. Still it's Meka who's leading. In fact, Alvin Xavier has moved into second place as we just caught a glimpse of bike number 10 go by ahead of Anish Damodar Shetty, who's on bike number 17. He's been pushed back to third. So this is going to be interesting. Now, Anish Damodar Shetty just needs to ensure that he finishes, even if he finishes behind Alvin Xavier, doesn't finish too far behind him. And that would be enough for him to see the overall Drivers' Championship as well, because a 7-point difference would mean that either Alvin Xavier wins this, or at least there's a big difference in terms of positions between Alvin Xavier and Anish Damodar Shetty of at least about 6 or 7 positions.
Well, it has to be that or nothing at all, because even if he finishes in the top 5, does Alvin Xavier, he gets the championship. So it's not entirely in Alvin Xavier's hand. Even if he gets to the checkered flag first, his fate, his destiny now depends on how Anish Damodar Shetty goes on. And now there's the battle between the two going on already, between Alvin and Anish. Anish in bike number 17, while we have Meka Viduraj, who got the race win yesterday, comfortably leading at the moment. Got bike number 6 of Bharat Balan there as well. The leaders have peeled away from the rest of the pack. Unfortunate for Anfal Akhtar, along with Lokesh and Sudhir Sudhakar, to not be part of the race because of that incident they had even before the race started. But Meka Viduraj has come of age as the season has progressed. He's got some good results as well, and got a race win yesterday. Doing well is Raj Kumar, who stays in 4th, but Meka Viduraj continues to lead, and there's pressure on Alvin Xavier coming in from Anish Shetty, as that's the least we can expect.
Remember, these bikes are pretty much, in terms of engine, the same that you'd get on the onboard from the GT Twin series, the GT Twin 650 series. Not much difference there. It's just that the exhaust strips, some minor modification to ensure that they get adequate clearance from the racetrack, especially when the bikes are tilting and turning, swaying the racetrack. So minor adjustments have been made to the exhaust. Also, that's ensured that the bikes are lighter by about 15 to 20 kgs. So this bike weighs over 180 kgs still, despite those adjustments to the exhaust system. But it's a challenge for these bikers to maintain and control them. And of course, credit to Mr. Aspi Batena and his brother Sherry Batena, who've really done well as far as tweaking things and ensuring that the bike is ready for racing in these conditions.
I'm talking about that incident that happened before the start of the race when the 3 bikers collided. It took at least 3 to 4 marshals each to get them to lift the bike and get it off the track, or get it just pushing. So that tells you that it's not a joke. They're not light by any stretch of imagination. And even with those 3-4 marshals, there were times that they were struggling.
So that just gives you an idea of how difficult it is for these bikers and what a test it is for their strength and endurance, apart from their biking ability and their ability to race. it's also a test of their strength, and no wonders at the end of each 10-lap race you find the bikers absolutely sweating profusely and at times quite exhausted from the 10 laps of exertion on this bike. For the moment though, the race leader is still Meka Veduraj. Running second is Alwyn Xavier, and third is the championship leader at the moment, which is Anish Damodar Shetty. And then of course fourth is Rajkumar, who's a biker from Coimbatore, the local lad.
Followed by Bharat Balan, bike number 6. But Raman, we saw this throughout the season. Did not get good starts, did Anish. But very quickly, by the end of lap 1 or lap 2 at max, he'd go on and get the race lead. Doesn't seem to be pushing too hard right now, because he knows all he needs to do is just stay where he is, and he will get his hands on the trophy. And you can see him just very calmly following Alwyn Xavier. He knows that even if Alwyn wins and he comes in third, he still wins the Bikers Championship. Doesn't need to do anything silly, maybe trying to get up and try and get a race win, slip, make an error, and with that, you know, goes his chances of winning the championship. So I think it's very sensible coming in from Anish Shetty. To win some, you have to lose some, and to win the championship, he has to make sure that he gets at least 4 points, and being a third will give him enough.
I think that's what he was mentioning on the podium yesterday as well, when I asked him whether he would have liked to push a little harder towards the end for the top spot. You remember, finished second behind Meka Veduraj, and he said, I had the bigger picture in mind. And talking about the bigger picture, Alwyn Xavier, I think, has overtaken Meka Veduraj. So it's Alwyn Xavier in the race lead now. Meka Veduraj is second, and running third is Anish Damodar Shetty. So Alwyn Xavier is doing all that he can to try and get maximum points out of this race.
Well, as we said, it's not up to him. It will depend on where Anish Shetty finishes for him to clinch the Bikers Championship. But at the moment, he's done well. He's in the race lead. He's at least doing his part. He's doing what he has to do, is to get to that checkered flag first, and then the rest will follow. Now, Meka Veduraj, bike number 4, is in second, closely followed by Anish Damodar Shetty, while your race leader is Alwyn Xavier. These three have been very, very good, consistently good throughout the season. They've peeled away from the rest of the lot. And then you've got the likes of Rajkumar and Bharat Balan following the leaders. And then there is the other pack. See, bike number 8, that's Bharat's bike number 6, beg your pardon, who is coming in. Anish just hasn't looked back, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't fall back, and he's not under pressure to, you know, see that maybe there's another bike, and if he falls further back in the pack, and then it could be a bit of a problem for him. But at the moment he's third, and that'll do for him. That will do.
Absolutely, because even if Alwyn Xavier wins this and gets 10 points, if he finishes third, Anish Damodar Shetty gets 6 points, and the gap between those two is at the moment 7 points. So even if there's a 4-point difference in this race and where they finish, Anish Shetty will still win the overall championship with a difference of 3 points.
Absolutely, and I think he knows that. He's well aware. But now he makes his move on the inside, overtakes Meka Veduraj and gets into second position now. And we've seen this, despite even not putting so much effort, he's just gliding through. He's moved up to second, and now all the pressure is on Alwyn Xavier to make sure he at least does his part and wins the race. And now we got Rajkumar also catching up with the front three. That's bike number 11, you can see in the background, keenly watching as the race progresses. Some of the fans and family members here present at the Kari Motor Speedway. And well, before I even spoke, he's already taken the lead as Anish Damodar Shetty. So he's not relying on a gap of a point difference or any mathematical assistance from anywhere. He's like, I'm going to go and win this race, make sure that the name on the trophy is mine.
Oh well, he's got the caliber, he's got the capability to do it, and he's showing us why he's such a highly rated biker. Although Alwyn Xavier makes a comeback, takes the inside line and regains the race lead, but can he hold on to it? That's the big question. Alwyn Xavier is back in the lead. Anish Damodar Shetty is second. Mika Viduraj is third. Rajkumar is running fourth at the moment. Very distant fifth. I thought could spot a rider there as well in the mid-pack as well.
So these are the four who together anything can happen because there is pressure. There's not much difference between, although it is always Xavier who's leading very closely, followed by Anish. Then you got Mika Viduraj, the race winner from yesterday. His race win meant that there's still an opportunity for Alwyn to go on and try and get the championship, because had Anish finished first and Alwyn finished third, then that gap would have been even more, 9, and possibly would have been curtains. Not mathematically though, but if you think about it logically and practically, that would have been curtains. But you never know. The uncertainty of sport is such that till it's over, it's not over.
Remember, 2.3 kilometers per lap. That's the length of the circuit. That's the length of each lap on this circuit at the Curry Motor Speedway in Coimbatore. And they're doing 10 laps on this circuit. So it effectively translates into 23 kilometers. Riding this beast that weighs 180 kgs plus. Then fighting off competitors as they head into the final lap of the race. 9 laps gone. This is the 10th and final lap. Are we going to see a challenge from Alwyn Xavier? Can he hold off that challenge from Anish Damodar Shetty?
Well, as you said, Raman, they are doing 23 kilometers at such high speed, and the weight of the bike is such that the margin of error, there's no room for error. Slightest of mistake and that could spell doom. That could mean that that's the end of your race. Here, Anish doing what he has to do to get the championship. Very well done there by Anish Shetty, although he still has a few corners to go by to get to the checkered flag to make sure he gets his hands on that trophy. Alwyn Xavier doing what he had to do. In the meantime, Mika Viduraj has now moved up to second. He's overtaken Anish Damodar Shetty again. That inside line has been exposed. That's where Alwyn Xavier overtook Anish, and now it's Mika who's exploited that corner and that little bit of an error from Anish Damodar Shetty.
And I dare say Mika Viduraj is going to push Alwyn Xavier in the final few meters of this race. Can he get past Alwyn Xavier? That's the big question. Alwyn's got a lead of about half a second going into the final straight.
Well, he did that yesterday, but that did not happen this time round, and it is Alwyn Xavier who will take the checkered flag. Mika Viduraj coming in second, and Anish coming in third.
And the biggest celebration was that of Anish Shetty. You can see him just folding his hands to pray. He was pumping his fists as he crossed the finish line. It wasn't because he finished third, it was because he knows he sealed the championship. As he comes around now to congratulate Alwyn Xavier. Alwyn's notched up a race win. Mika Viduraj is second. Anish Damodar Shetty is third in this race. But it doesn't matter in the overall scheme of things because he is the champion of the first ever JK Tyre Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup.
That's your champion, Anish Damodar Shetty. As Raman said, despite he finished third in the race, he has gone on to clinch the Bikers Championship. And that's because, you see the background doing a bit of wheelie. There was Anish carrying the bike there and lifting the front wheel. It's great to see the camaraderie, great to see the friendship between these two. After every race, we see that their high fives, their pat on the back, their fist bumps as well, and that tells you that that they all enjoyed this inaugural season. And it is Anish who is your champion for the JK Tyre Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup.
Oh, look at them. They're all posing for the shutterbugs there. Burning some rubber. Yes, of course. Go for it. That's what Alwyn Xavier did. Just leaving his mark on the racetrack, saying, I wrapped up the season with a race win.
Was kind of a guard of honor as well, allowing Anish to go on ahead first, and then doing that, all those marks. And you can see him delighted with the season, the way the season has gone for him, and he's enjoying it. And I think he'll remember this moment for a very, very long time. Credit to Alwyn Xavier as well, because he pushed him till the very end. He made sure that the fight for the championship was still alive till the very last moment. Doing the wheelies, celebrating in style.
Well, these are moments to cherish, moments to remember. He's worked very hard for this championship win, as Anish Damodar Shetty. In the end, that final race didn't see him win the race per se, but
He'd done all the hard work in the first 3 rounds. He could sit back, not take those risks in the final round. He knew that just podium finishes alone in both races in this final round would be enough to take him through. A second place finish yesterday, a third place finish today in the final race of the season. Yes, he locks the championship in his name.
Congratulations to Anish Damodar Shetty, and good effort, well done, well played to Alvin Xavier and Mika Viduraj as well. Hadn't it been for these two, we wouldn't have seen the best of Anish come out, because he was challenged till the very end. The competition in the top 3 was so tight that it was decided at the very last moment, very last race. Terrific, a great advertisement for bike racing, motorsports here in India, and considering that it's retro racing and not even superbike racing, and we get such thrilling races and thrilling season, that too in the inaugural season. I think it's something to look forward to. Going through the mandatory weighbridge there, and that is your champion of the season, Anish Damodar Shetty. Well done, and he's enjoying this moment, and he should absolutely go on and have a ball now. Alvin Xavier being congratulated for coming in second, and again burning some rubber, leaving his mark, saying the champion was here. That's what you call a perfect circle.
Anish Shetty, you've completed a circle here. Well done.
I couldn't do that with a geometry box. It's very well done, Anish.
It's time to break free. Break away from the routine. To the greens. And get lost in the world within. To steer through, to stop. Start again. Go forth. Shed your inhibitions and just let it all go. With JK Tyres Ranger 80, made of tough, made for adventure. For the ones who are wide at heart, JK Tyre, total control.
Welcome back. We've had the championship decided in the JK Tyre presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup, bringing you the highlights of this thrilling race that's just concluded a few moments ago. It was a very good start for Mika Viduraj, who started at P1. Anish Shetty started at P2. Then we had Alvin Xavier, who was the challenger, starting at P3. Rajkumar was at P4. Anfal Akhtar and Sudhir Sudhakar, along with Lokesh, were involved in a little incident before the start of the race, so they could not take part as the championship deciding race started here at the Curry Motor Speedway. Mika Viduraj, a race winner from yesterday, a good start. Alvin Xavier also in the mix of things. He was second. In fact, it's been these three have been ever so consistent throughout this season that it was difficult to pick a winner. Although in the end, Anish Shetty had done enough in the first 3 rounds to make sure that 2 podium finishes in the last round would be enough for him to seal the championship. Mika Viduraj, starting off slowly in the season, came became his own self as the season progressed. The leads were exchanged, the race lead. At times it was Mika, at times it was Anish, at times, as you can see right now, it is Alwyn Xavier who was leading there. Alwyn now losing the race lead to Anish Shetty, closely followed. And then again, Alwyn Xavier in that very same corner, on the inside line, taking that away on the final corner to take the race lead, followed by Anish Shetty, Mika Viruduraj also. These three peeled away from the rest of the pack. For a moment, it looked like Rajkumar had caught up with the front three, but then wasn't for very long that he could manage to stay with these three. Then we had Mika Viruduraj overtaking Anish on that very corner. And there he was, putting pressure on Alwyn Xavier, but Alwyn did enough to go on and take the checkered flag, take the race win. But the celebrations came in from the man who finished third to take and seal the championship in the inaugural season of the JK Tyre presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. Your champion on your screen, Anish Damodar Shetty. Time for the prize distribution ceremony for the race. One is getting richer by 30 grand, another one by 20 grand, another one by 10 grand, along with the trophy that they will get. Might not be the race winner, but that's enough for him to go on and take the championship. That is Anish Shetty coming in third, followed by Mika Viruduraj, who comes in second. Got the race win yesterday, did Mika Viruduraj. He's just come alive in this final round, and that only bodes well for the future in this category in the next season, the upcoming season. And that is your race winner, finishing second in the Bikers Championship, Alwyn Xavier.
Gentlemen, raise your trophies, pick your trophies up, and raise them up in the air.
Got a small trophy right now, but he'll be behind the bigger one later tonight when he gets the Bikers Championship. Well, Anish Damodar Shetty. 10,000 rupees for Anish, who comes in as second runner-up, finishing third in this race. 20,000 for Mika Viruduraj, who comes in second. That's the first runner-up. And richer by 30,000 rupees, the winner, Alwyn Xavier. What a fantastic inaugural season we've had in this category. Beauty and Beast combined together in one machine. Hold on there for a moment for the photographers. So your winners, Alwyn Xavier, Mika Viruduraj and Anish Damodar Shetty.
Right guys, time for a quick conversation. As the season wraps up, I'm going to come back to Anish in just a bit, but I'm going to start this little interaction. We start with Mika Viruduraj. Mika, it's been a good race weekend for you. Happy with that second place finish? You had a battle going on for quite a part of the race.
I didn't know that it was a 9-lap race because I didn't see any board saying that it was a 9-lap race. So I had a strategy in my mind where I could do few overtakes and last couple of laps, which came different now. So okay, happy with the second place, but still Anish and Anfal rode really well. Thanks to them, and I'm happy for today.
Let's have a quick chat with Alwyn Xavier. Alwyn, a race win to cherish to wrap up the season?
Yeah, finally, last race of the season win. So it was a good race. I followed Mega for quite a few laps. Then I overtook him in Mickey Mouse. Then I was conserving the brakes because I had an issue with the brakes in last race. So I was braking very early for 8 laps, I guess. Then after 8 laps, when I saw last lap code, I pushed like hell. Then
and said, "This is it. It's now or never."
Yeah, now or never. I went all out. That's it.
Well done. I really loved the celebration when Anfal Akhtar came over and your city mate just hugged you and said, "Okay, well done, buddy."
Yeah, I'm a bit sad for him, but okay, he will come back stronger next year. Yeah, he will win more podiums, more championships for next year. Anyway, he's in second runner-up as a championship.
Right, absolutely. Congratulations on a great run overall through the season, and thanks for providing all the competition and excitement in the races that we've had so far, and wrapping the season up with a win.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And now it's time to chat with the man who's finished third in the race today. But of course, that's because he was playing it safe. We knew the championship was on the line. Congratulations. The champion of the JK Tyre presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup, Anish Damodar Shetty.
Yes, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful season. Special thanks to Royal Enfield for coming up with a new cup. Bringing in back retro racing, it's a good opportunity for us to showcase our talents, and big thanks to JK for hosting the event. We look forward to more bike events being organized by JK. And coming to the championship, throughout the season, technically I got 6 out of 6 wins, so I pretty much proved what I'm capable of. So last 2 races were just to take it safe and get home the championship, and it worked as we planned. So thanks to everyone. Cheers.
Yes, you did all the hard work in the first 3 rounds. Of course, there was that one win that got taken away due to the overtaking on the yellow flag. Nonetheless, the fact that you came into this round with the mentality that you've done enough and you had to play safe and at least get a podium, not just go out there and all out and try and win?
Not really, because the first few races I already had shown the pace, and even in the qualifying I set a 16th, which I think I'm the only one in the grid to be clocking. So pretty much the space and this thing, so it was just to get the bike to the finish line. And I've heard a few senior racers telling, win the race lowest you can. So that's what I did now.
Congratulations, savor the moment, and of course later on this evening, savor holding that championship trophy as well.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Cheers.
Anish Damodar Shetty there for you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all that we have from the presentation area. It's back to the commentary box.
They've come from the future to change the way we drive.
JK Smart Tire, buddy.
JK Smart Tire, the tire with a brain. The future of driving is here. JK Smart Tire. It's time to break free. Break away from the routine to the greens and get lost in the world within. To steer through, to stop, start again, go forth, and just let it all go. With JK Tyre's Ranger 80 for the ones who are wild at heart. JK Tyre, total control.
Well then, welcome back to the coverage of the 24 JK Tyre FMSCI National Racing Championship. We've had 3 thrilling races today, but it's time to bring you a little bit of a recap of what happened in round 3. It was a very, very wet weekend. That one in Coimbatore at the Chettipalam Kari Motor Speedway. We started off here with the LGB Formula 4 category. We had 3 races on Saturday on that weekend, although because of all the rain, only 2 were possible, and one in the GT Royal Enfield GT Continental Cup was postponed to Sunday. Arya Singh, Sandeep Kumar, Diljit TS, all 3 Dark Dawns were leading. It was a very, very good start for Arya. You look at those wet conditions, making it very, very difficult for the drivers behind. As long as you're leading the pack, you're comfortable, but there's a lot of spray that comes from the tires from the ones who are following. But Diljit TS and Sandeep Kumar did a very, very good job. Generally, on a dry track, it's about 1 minute 17 seconds, the lap time. But with the conditions here, it's about 1 minute 24 seconds. So that tells you about 7 minutes, close to 7 seconds, the difference of a lap time under wet conditions and in proper dry usual conditions at the Kari Motor Speedway. Remember, these are the highlights from round 3, day 1, the first race in the LGB Formula 4 category. Was a very good start, a very good weekend that proved out to be for the Dark Dawn team. Arya Singh was still leading. Diljit TS was second, Sandeep Kumar third. That was the end of the race for Tijal Rao there, car number 3 you saw momentarily. There's a bit of pressure coming in from Ragul Rangasamy, a former champion in car number 99, as he tried to catch up with the race leaders, and eventually he did manage to overtake one of the Dark Dawns and move into the 3rd position at the fag end of the race. There you see the battle now for 2nd and 3rd was between Diljit TS and Ragul. There, that battle I'm talking about, Ragul there then overtakes Diljit TS to move up into 2nd, while Arya Singh continued to lead the race as they got into the final lap of the race, and this is where I had another opportunity to go on and get the race win, but Diljit TS there going slightly wide and Ragul comfortably remaining 2nd in this race. Did turn out to be a rather eventful race with all the rain and all the wetness around, all the water, but Arya Singh took the checkered flag. Ragul Rangasamy came in 2nd, and Diljit, in fact Ashwin Datta came in 3rd, with Diljit TS making a slight error in the final lap. Now we move on to the 2nd race of that weekend. That was the Jagatai Novice Cup category. It is a vet race. We had Ruhan Alva starting at P1, teammate Jaden Pradier at P2, Naim Rizvi, Aman Nagdev behind them. And then there were the likes of Aditya Parsuram, in fact, who started way back in the final row, did ever so well to be in the race as far as the 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd is concerned in the Drivers' Championship. This being the novice category, obviously we started behind the safety car. The first couple of laps were behind the safety car. Once that car went out, that's when the drivers could go on and get into racing action. Just try and get used to how things work out on a wet track. You can see all the sprinkle of water that's on the track, spray from behind. There you see that makes it very difficult for the ones who are following. Ruhan Alva, race leader, followed by Jaden Pradier there in 2nd, Naim Rizvi 3rd, Aman Nagdev, Adit Parashar, Gaurav Kochar were also involved. There you see the next 3. Well, the good news was that weekend that while Saturday, the first half, it rained very heavily. The second half, the rain started to ease out, the sun started to come out, and that made things a lot better for these young Novice Cup drivers to go on and deal with. Ruhan Alva, you can see there was still a lot of water on that racetrack. You have to be cautious. Beautiful shot with the sun coming out slowly and steadily peeping out. Ruhan Alva gets past the back marker without much trouble. And as the races progressed, the track started to dry up a bit. There was a bit of a hold-up as well that weekend because of some puddles on the racetrack. But the marshals and the track officials did a tremendous job for us to have any racing action, considering the amount of downpour we had all through Saturday, in fact even on Friday. It's a bit of an error there from Jaden Parriott, just couldn't brake on time and then going through the tyre barrier, rejoining the race there. But Ruhan Alva had no such issues. Just gliding through that racetrack, and I think there was that little incident with one of the Momentum Motorsport cars. Jaden Parriott following his teammate Ruhan Alva down that straight at the end of lap number 8. And that's when the safety car should have come out, but by the time it could, you could see there, that was Rohit Khanna with his hand gesture saying slow down boys, and one of the rescue crew team as well. And then the safety car just guided the boys straight through towards the final finishing touchline. So that would mean Ruhan Alva would go on to win the race. Jaden Parriott would come in second, and Gaurav Kochar would settle for third position. Well, the rain had stopped by then during the prize distribution ceremony, but it had already done the damage for the Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup race to be postponed to Sunday.
Finally, tires that keep up with you. JK Tire, total control.
Of the day, we had the Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. These are the highlights of round 3. It's a very good start for Anish Damodar Shetty there. With what a difference a Saturday and a Sunday could be. Saturday it was belting down with so much water, and a sea on a Sunday, bright sunshine here in Coimbatore. It was a very good start, as I said, for Anish. It was followed by Anfal Akhdar in bike number 5. We had family and friend keenly watching, at the likes of Sunny Singh, the COC, keeping a hawk eye view of everything that's happening there on the racetrack. A bird's eye view of the Curry Motor Speedway, as beautiful as it can get, with Anish taking the checkered flag. He enjoyed that, didn't he? And you see, he enjoys it. And he had Anfal Akhdar there in second position. Now we got into the JK Tire Novice Cup highlights. It was a no-go for one of the Momentum team. The blue car that you saw, Ruhan Alva, started at P1. The battle has always been between Ruhan Alva and Jaden Parriott. On that occasion, it was Jaden who started, and he was leading, followed by Ruhan Alva, and then the third yellow of Naeem Rizvi. We saw car number 70, Aman Nagdev, they're having a bit of issue. These young boys did ever so well on Saturday in wet conditions to have a very, very good race, and they were delighted to have a Sunday with sun and no rain. And there was that problem with Gaurav Kochar and Adit Parashar, I believe, yes, was that incident colliding and proving to be the end of the race for them. In the between, we show you shots of the garages at the pit. Because of that incident, the safety car was deployed, and very quickly we had the rescue team also had in action. The race ended behind the safety car with Rohan Alva taking the checkered flag, Jaden Parrott coming in second, and the winners joined by Hari Singh, Chief of Safety and Security here, and also multiple time national rallying champion. Then on to the next race, and that's on day 2 of round 3. This is the LGB Formula 4 category. Amir Saeed there, who started at pole, did a very good job, had a very, very good start, and considering him being so young, making his debut in this category, was put under pressure with the likes of Vishnu Prasad, Naeem Rizvi, the Dark Dawns and the M Sport. He held on to his own. In fact, beg your pardon, not Naeem Rizvi, but Mohammad Ryan in car number 45 there. Just to have a youngster who notched up 12 wins out of 12 in the Novice Cup category last season to step up to the LGB Formula 4 and make sure that he's counted for. It's not just here to fill the numbers. Very confident young man, very humble, and there is Sandeep Kumar, followed by Diljit TS, Mohammad Ryan, and look at the gap that he's built up. That's your race leader, followed by one of the M Sport, I think if I'm correct, that's Vishnu Prasad, and then there's a huge gap between the rest who are following it very quickly. That's the control room. It's where nothing goes amiss. Was that incident? That was Raghu Rangasami's car getting into the tires as the race came to an end, and the first race win for young Amir Saeed. A proud moment for him. The entire Ahura team was there. Vishnu Prasad came in second, Diljit TS settling for third. As we come to this second race of this category, the JK Tyre presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. Remember, this is the highlights from round 2, second day action. Anish Damodar Shetty won the race, but this time it was a very, very decent start for Bharat Balan, bike number 6, but just could not hold on, could not sustain a challenge later on. Anfal Akhdar there, bike number 5, got on and made the difference. He was very quickly followed by Mika Viduraj, bike number 4, and you have to expect Anish Damodar Shetty and Alvin Xavier to be there in the top. Very quickly moving up the pack was Alvin Xavier and Anish. Anfal Akhdar was put under immense pressure from these two. Anfal in fact dropped down to second, and Alvin Xavier moved up to the top of the pack. Anish was third at that point. Remember, this is only the 4th lap, it's a 10-lap race, and Alvin Xavier very quickly, comfortably getting onto that race lead. Anfal Akhdar was between the two who were fighting it out in every race at the top of the pack, and it was go time. Pressure on Alvin Xavier from Anish Damodar Shetty. This is the final lap. That's the last lap, and this is where he made his move there, Anish Damodar Shetty, on that turn, taking the race lead when it mattered the most. It doesn't matter where you are at the entirety of the race. It matters who takes the checkered flag. There was that bit of contact as well, but it was Anish Damodar Shetty who took the checkered flag in that photo finish. Anfal coming in third, with Alvin Xavier settling for second spot. Race winners Anish, Alvin and Anfal. Continuing with the highlights from round 3. This was the Novice Cup category. Slip, that's it. And in the meantime, it was Jaden Parrott and Rohan Alva who very quickly reclaimed what they call a race lead. Very seldom does he relinquish that. There was that contact between Jaden Parriott and Ruan Alva that cost Jaden a second place finish. He turned, slipped, and look at him. He's absolutely livid with himself because of that as he finishes third, while Deep Parashar, if I'm correct, goes on to get the second spot in that race. In fact, yes, it was Deep Parashar, car number 63. Then on to the LGB Formula 4 category. With every passing race, it gets more intense. It gets as close as it could be. A very good start for Sandeep Kumar there. In fact, great pressure from young Amir Saeed, who's in the mix of things. He's in top 3 right now. But can he hold on to that challenge from the big boys? The likes of Diljit TS, the likes of Arya Singh, who had a race win on Saturday under wet conditions. Vishnu Prasad, former national champion. Sandeep Kumar, defending champion. Then he had Raghu Rangasamy as well. So multiple champions on that racetrack. But Amir Saeed made sure that he was there not just to fill up the numbers, but to give these big boys a run for their money. That was the end of the race for one of the Ahuras. If I'm correct, it was car number 42 of Surosh Taria. The safety car came out. It was deployed to make sure that all the things are done properly. And then when the safety car went out, proper racing action went underway again, and you had the Dark Dawns dominating there. You can see Arya Singh, Sandeep Kumar, the two in the front, followed by another Dark Dawn, and then you had Amir Saeed in the red car, one of the Ahura racing cars coming in. Safety car again deployed. We had that throughout round 3. Obviously partly because of wet conditions that we had on Saturday. Once again, Diljit TS there, car number 44. He was there in the mix, coming in third at that point of time. Arya Singh was your race leader, car number 10, as you see on your screen, followed by Sandeep Kumar, Diljit TS, and then you had Amir Saeed, the young lad, although did make an error and fell down the order, allowing one of the M Sport to come up. But it was Arya Singh, and in fact it was a Dark Dawn 1, 2, 3 at the podium at the end of this race. Arya